Okay, here's a little thing on if you've ever wondered what to play under a prayer or under a mostly silent meditation or time of reflection in a church service. A couple of things. First, just kind of overall, you don't want to be distracting. You don't want the music to be the focus. You want the music to add to or enhance the atmosphere of the moment, right? Two ways that you can be distracting as a pianist. One, if I'm playing too loud, right? If I'm just volume wise. The other thing, I might keep my volume down, but I can be too busy. Way too busy, right? You want to leave room for space because that's what the moment calls for, whether it's, like I said, whether it's prayer or whether it's people are meditating or reflecting or doing some sort of meditative action. Maybe it's enhancing the environment. So musically, I want to do three things, and we'll kind of build on those. First, let's just start. I'm going to start in the key of C. And for now, I'm going to keep this really simple, but like I said, then I'm going to build on it. So I'm going to go between two chords. I'm going to go between C and F, right? My one chord and my four chord, if I consider myself in the key of C, okay? So I could go, if I just go back and forth here, I could do it the most simple way possible, right? I could go, obviously I'm not going to do that. I could also do, let's say I do this. So I play that C in root position, and then I play that F in what would be a second inversion, right? Notice my left hand is still going down. Can you see my left hand? Yep, left hand is still going down to these roots, right? So I've started to introduce inversions, right? Because this is the second inversion. By that same token, I'm going to not only invert this in my right hand, but I'm going to play different bass notes down here. So I'll call this left hand inverting, right? So I could go, so all I did was walk that down from a C to an A. So I've got that F over an A, which is a chord tone, right? C over G, again, obviously a chord tone. And then I put that F in a root position in the left hand. That stepwise movement is kind of nice down there. So now, instead of just paying attention to that left hand note, I also want to pay attention to my top note. Those are the two notes that are going to be most prominent, right? The top and the bottom. So instead of going, because when I play that, I hear bum, 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 bum. I'm going to vary that a little bit. I'm going to go. Okay, we might even try something else. Instead of starting this in root, I'm going to start this in second inversion. My bass notes are going to be the same, and I'm going to go. See what I did there? Same thing here, but I varied this up. So now that top note is bum, 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 with this bottom note, with that bass line there, okay? Now, I'm doing block chords. Let's add to that a little bit. I'm gonna arpeggiate this left hand, and for me, I do a lot of 1-5-1 or 1-5-3, if you can stretch that. So it might sound something like this. And I could build on that. I could just keep going. Again, I only used two chords for that example, just C and F. But you can notice, based on what my left hand is doing with those inversions and where my top note falls, I'm varying that up. that it has a variety to it, right? It doesn't just sound like, obviously, okay? Now let's build on that a little bit, and I'm going to start including color tones. I consider color tones anything more than just 1, 3, 5, okay? So a really simple example of a color tone is just that 2. Now I might play that without the 3, I might play it with there, right? I could play a 4, which is kind of a suspension, which is not really a chord at rest. It sounds like it needs to resolve to this 3, okay? So now let's play this same example, that C, F, C, F thing, but I'm gonna add some color tones to this. See that? Now let's introduce some different chords. If it's a meditative prayer or a reflective moment, I like to include some minor chords just for a little melancholy. So it's not everything doesn't sound too upbeat or too major. So if I was in the key of C, instead of starting with C, I might start with the relative minor, which is A minor. So I might go, and again, I'm gonna add color tones. Again, if I was just playing an A minor chord and I could do this, right? I could add just a straight up 1, 3, 5 A minor chord. I'm gonna add some color tones to this, and I'm gonna go to an F, I do that 2, maybe to C over E, I do the 2, back to the F with the 2, put a G over A minor to that A minor. Okay, just a little bit of color, introduced an A minor chord. I think I put a G in there too. I could even go back and forth. G, and then maybe that's my pattern. To an F with color, C over E to a G. There's my G with a 2 right there. Okay. Now let's build on that a little bit. Instead of arpeggiating, I'm gonna get away from the arpeggios for just a second. And I'm gonna do something I call splitting the triad, okay? So let's just go back to a really simple example. Here's a C in root position, okay? Instead of playing this 1, 3, 5, I'm gonna take out this 3 in my right hand, and I'm gonna put the 3 in the left hand, okay? So it's gonna sound like this, right? That's splitting that triad, okay? I'm gonna go back and forth between this C chord and F chord as we were at the beginning. Now if I did these two in root position, it would sound like this. There's my C, and here's my F. See what I'm doing? Just playing the 1 and the 5 in the right hand and the 3 in the left hand. But if I do that over and over, it quickly becomes repetitive and monotonous, right? So again, let's introduce inversions. For example, if I was playing the C in first inversion, I would now play the 3 and the 1 in my right hand, and I would play the 5. Right? So there's that C splitting the triad again, but now I'm inverting that. This gives us so many options in our palette, even if we're not even introducing color tones yet. If we split the triad, it just is kind of a nice, more open sound. So we could do something like this, like there's that F. Maybe add a bass note. Let's build on that. Okay, again, really just doing C and F. I think I added a G there at the end. What if we built on that and started to introduce some other chords like that A minor, the 6, or the E minor, the 3? It might sound something like this, again, splitting the triad. There's that E minor, F, C, not even doing any color tones yet. If I did color tones, maybe like again, so look at that. There's a C. I'm going 1, 5, 3. So I'm going to act like I've got the 3 in my left hand, even though I've got this 1 and 5 down there as well. I'm not going to play the 3 up here. I'm not going to go. I'm going to go, or I might add the 2, which is what I just did, which is a really nice chord, right? That's really open, gives us a lot of harmonic coverage, but not too clustery, right? Again, really simple arpeggios down here and a little more open chord up here. So color tones that I'm adding, a lot of 2s, obviously every once in a while, 4 like a suspension. To minor chords, I'm adding 7s. Minor 7 is a really melancholy chord. So there's an E minor. It looks like a G in my right hand, but it's really an E minor where I've got the 2, the 3. There's the 2, the 3, the 5, the minor 7, and the 3. Right there, okay? So hopefully that gives you, kind of increases your palette a little bit, gives you some ideas of what you can play under prayer or time of meditation.